Hey guys, today I want to talk about the last thing in our Crushing Your Health Goals series, or whatever your health goal is, be it business, relationship, health, whatever. And this one is a big one because sometimes this one actually stops people from ever even getting started. And that is a lack of confidence or a fear of failure. Sometimes people don't even attempt their goal because they're afraid they're not going to be able to do it. So that's a big one, and that's a horrible place to kind of be. So that's why I want to talk about it. And what contributes to this is, one of the things is like past experience is stopping you. You've tried this a million times before, you haven't been able to do it, and it's kind of like, what's the point? I've never been able to do it before. So that's tough when that happens. So I want to talk about that. But another reason is you misunderstand what failure is. And that misunderstanding can really mess with you. So we want to talk about that. I'm going to give you some tools for that. And then another thing is, you really don't know how to build confidence. Build confidence in knowing that you can be successful with your outcome. So that's another thing. And then the last thing is that you tend to focus on the wrong things. That's what creates this lack of confidence and fear of failure, is you're focusing on the wrong stuff. So the more you focus on it, the more you get of it. So I want to kind of give you the tools now to help with these things. Many of these I've given you in the other videos on this series. So go back and watch the other videos. They're really important and they lay the groundwork for this. But one of the first things is you've got to set realistic goals. I talked about this in another video. That was, I think, in the planning video. So you have to have realistic goals. You can't try to bite off more than you can chew. That's a big thing that causes failure for people. And then when you fail, you disappoint yourself, and then you believe a little bit less that it's possible. And every time that happens, you whittle away at your confidence and your belief that you can ever get this. So set some realistic goals and go back to the planning video to figure out how to do that. Also, you want to set mini goals. Again, I talked about that in the planning video. You've got to have these smaller goals in place before you can achieve the big goal, because the big goal is made up of action steps that in and of themselves are mini goals. Maybe you're trying to lose weight or get healthy, and one of the mini goals is that you need to get to the gym 3 days a week. That's a mini goal. So you have to set that, and then you want to focus on that rather than a huge goal. Which brings me to the next point, that people tend to focus on the outcome rather than the effort. And the effort is in the action steps, the daily, weekly, monthly action steps that lead you there. So in other words, how many times, if I can't even say how many times, I've heard people say this, they might come in for a health goal and weight loss is part of their pieces that they want to work on, and it's it'll be oh, you lost 3 pounds, and they'll be yeah, but it's been 4 weeks, yeah, but it's been 4 weeks and I lost 3 pounds. It's you're focusing on the wrong thing. Are you focused on then I'll ask them, did you take the daily action steps? Oh yeah, I've been perfect with that. I have not missed a day. Then why are you focusing on the outcome? The outcome is going to come. But your effort in taking the daily actions and having those wins are what are going to build the confidence to get there. So again, I've given this analogy in the other videos. If you're going to New York, you're driving to New York, and it's a long way, when you drive a certain amount every day, that was your plan. I'm going to drive 6 hours a day, and you're in Southern California and you're going to the tip of New York, and you're I'm going to drive 6 hours a day. and you get in the car and you've done that for a series of days and you've accomplished this many miles, you don't get in the car the next day and be like, I can't believe we're not there yet. Like, you're not like bummed that you're not there yet. You're like, yeah, we've driven 6 hours every day for the last 3 days. This is amazing. We're making great time. We're doing great. We're following the plan. Now, that doesn't mean that the plan doesn't have to be reassessed at some points, because maybe there was a detour, maybe there's construction, and your course of action took you a longer way than you expected. Then you reassess and you figure out what's the best way to course correct. I gave that in another video, right? But that's where the focus needs to be. And people, when they feel like they've failed, it's a lot of times because they weren't paying attention to the effort in the action steps. They just kept focusing on the outcome and how it wasn't here yet. So that's a big one. Now, I also want you to understand failure. Failure is an opportunity to learn, but most people think of failure as a negative. Like, of course, this is the way society is set up here, that failure is just like a bad thing, a negative thing. I'm going to give you the analogy when I talk about weights, lifting weights. Anyone who lifts weights and is building strength understands that you want to lift a weight. A lot of times, one of the strategies is to lift to failure. You probably heard that. Lift that weight till you fail. That's a good thing. You want to fail. It's part of the process. Why are you failing? Because you can't push anymore. Now you know where your ceiling is. Now you back off, and then you maybe lower the weight, or you keep it the same, whatever the case may be that needs to be in that moment. Then as you build strength, you can push through that. What used to be a point of failure, you've now passed. So do not think of failure as a negative thing. Think of it as a point of growth, of data collection, where you can either reassess or you can know, hey, this is where I am. It's simply where I am right now. And I won't be here forever. Do I need to reassess? Do I need to do whatever? So you've got to think about failure as a part of the process, a necessary part many times. All growth takes place when you failed, because now you know, hey, that didn't work. I either have to change something, or I know where my limit is. I have to gain strength here still so I can surpass that limit. So failure is a good thing. And so that's going to allow you to gain confidence through learning and growing. That's where the confidence comes in. When you have failed, or even if you haven't, but you're collecting data along the way, now you can grow. You see where your limits are, and then you grow. That's where the confidence comes in. Confidence doesn't get built by being perfect all the time. Confidence doesn't get built by never having challenges. Confidence gets built by overcoming. That's where real confidence comes in. That's where you pay attention. That's where you know you can do it. So don't get tripped up on thinking you have to be perfect all the time in order to be confident. I mean, yeah, that's great when that happens. But the confidence is that much stronger when you've overcome something, when you understand it. So that's critical. And then another thing is you've got to challenge these negative beliefs. This is where the self-talk comes in. A lot of people are busy talking to themselves in a negative way. There's a lot of information on my website I don't have time to go into here, but go to my website, youareunstoppable.net, my blog, and there's tons of free tips and principles and action steps there to help you with this negative thinking. But that's where you have to really challenge your beliefs. You probably have a belief built on old experience of how you failed. So you have to start changing your story. This goes back to the new mindset I talked about in the beginning of the videos. You've got to be a new person with a new mindset who makes all decisions from this new mindset. And that being said, the negative stuff can be shifted as data collection so you can figure it out for yourself and start talking in yourself in a, not just talking to yourself in a different way, but shifting your beliefs. I just gave you a perfect example. Maybe you believed failure was a negative before. Now perhaps you have the belief that failure can actually be a good thing. So that's also equally as true. So you want to look at that. And then the other pieces are really what's going to help you build your confidence is just celebrating the wins, which I've talked about in other videos, and having a bounce back strategy and a course correction. These things are going to help you build confidence. So go back and watch the other videos for that. But all the tools here are what are going to keep you on your path and help you even get started if you're afraid to get started. You don't have to be afraid of failing. Failure is a good thing. It's what allows us to grow, get up again, keep going, keep building the confidence through these tools that I've given you. And this way you will crush your health goals. It's not a question of when, okay? It's not even, it's going to come to you if you follow these steps. Just stay committed, just stay persistent through all the tools I gave you, and you will get there, okay? You will get there one step at a time. If you want more information, go to youareunstoppable.com, or if you want free information on tips, go to my blog at youareunstoppable.net, okay? So guys, great time helping you with this series of crushing your goals. I hope it was helpful, and I'll see you in the next series.